Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prodigy channel. And in this video, we are going to be doing a NFL team tier list for the 2022 NFL season. It is currently Thursday, September 8th, which means the season starts today. So we're going to be putting all the NFL teams in S through D tier, with S being the best and D being the absolute worst of the worst. And this is just based on what I expect for these teams heading into the 2022 NFL season. I'm so excited for the season to start, guys. It's been way too long without football, and I can't wait. So, first things first, I'm going to get the most obvious choice out of the way. We're all thinking it. I'm just going to do it right away. The Minnesota Vikings are clearly S tier. We all know this. Kirk Cousins with his new head coach. He's going to throw to Justin Jefferson for 2,000 yards. Jefferson is going to have 2,000 receiving yards. Adam Thielen's going to have 20 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook's going to put up 20 touchdowns. Improved defense. Kirk Cousins, 5,000 yards minimum. Clear S-tier team. Next up, we have two teams that are playing on Thursday Night Football against each other for the season opener. We got the Bills and we got the Rams. The Bills very easily are a Super Bowl contender. They're one of the favorites. And the Rams won it last year. So, I think this is a pretty clear choice. I mean, they have some of the best players in the league with the Rams. Great defense, great offense. Bills, they got Josh Allen, a crazy offense, good defense. So those are the pretty obvious choices we got here. Now, this is where things start to get a little hairier. I don't really have a method of how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals for now because they're next. I'm going to put them B tier. They've shown flashes over the last couple of years. They've been kind of up and down. So I'm going to put them B, not quite A, but they're better than C, okay? But if things start to click for them, they could definitely become an A or S tier team. Atlanta Falcons this year with Mariota at quarterback, no Calvin Ridley. I mean, it's going to be a rough season for the Falcons. It just is what it is. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens at B tier. I think they're a good team. They got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. They had a ton of injuries last year, and they were still pretty solid. So I think they are definitely a playoff team this season. The Carolina Panthers. I don't think they're quite on the same level as the Cardinals and Ravens, but they're definitely not D tier. So I'm going to put them C tier. Hopefully Baker Mayfield can offer a little better production at quarterback than Sam Darnold did last year. And if their defense plays well, they should be a fringe playoff contender. Maybe they make the playoffs if things go right. The Bears, this is a clear D tier team. Listen, they don't have a lot of things going well for them, and they just lost Allen Robinson. So, yeah, not ideal. Now, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to put them... This is a tricky one. I don't think they're S tier, even though they made the Super Bowl last year. I think they'll have a little bit of a letdown. I don't expect them to repeat their Super Bowl appearance. To me, they're either A or B tier, just because they still got Burrow in that offense with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. I'm going to put them A tier for now, and I do reserve the right to move these teams as I move along if I change my mind. I'm going to put them A tier. I'm going to put them A tier. Next up, we have the Browns. I'm going to put them C tier. The Deshaun Watson suspension definitely hurts their chances. I know he will come back later in the season. And once he comes back, they might become more of a B tier team. But they got Jacoby Brissett starting at quarterback for, the first 11 games. And I think he's capable enough to keep them afloat. But with the team as it stands today, I'm going to say they're a C tier team, okay? Now we got the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to put them B tier. They lost Amari Cooper. Ezekiel Elliott is another year older, but Dak's still a good quarterback. Their defense played pretty well last year, and I think they'll be a solid team, but not necessarily a top-tier contender. Now, this one is an interesting one right here. We got the Denver Broncos, and I'm going to put them next to the Bengals. I'm going to put them A tier. If they didn't bring Russell Wilson in, I'd probably put them right here. But that upgrade alone makes them an A tier team, maybe even S tier if things really click. It's reminiscent of when Peyton Manning came to Denver from Indianapolis and they just instantly became an uber successful team. Their quarterback play was their biggest weakness, and they filled in their quarterback spot with one of the best in the game. I expect their offense to be one of the most improved. Russell Wilson throwing it to Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. Obviously, losing Tim Patrick for the season hurts, but I think they have more than enough weapons in the receiving game. Plus, they still got Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon in the backfield. That's a great running back duo. And then their defense should be pretty dang good. So I see no reason to think that they can't be an A tier team and a borderline contender. And if things go well, I could definitely see them making a run. The Detroit Lions, as much as I want to put them higher than D tier, for now I'm going to put them D tier. They got a lot of heart, and I could definitely see them making a jump if things go well, but I'm going to put them D tier for now. The Green Bay Packers. Now, I'm a Vikings fan, but I am not biased I'm biased in my support for the Vikings, but I don't usually crap on the Packers. Like, a lot of fellow Vikings fans of mine, they would just automatically do this. I'm not going to do that, okay? Last year, I actually would have put them here. Last year. But that offense lost some weapons, and, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I don't think they're A tier. I'm going to put them B tier for now. I'm going to put them B tier. It's pretty close between A and B. If I have too many teams in B tier and I want to change my mind, I might put them in A tier just because when you have Aaron Rodgers, you're going to be competitive. But it's tough, man, because even when they have good seasons in the past, they haven't done much in the playoffs recently. So that's a tough one, but I'm going to put them B tier. Houston Texans are going D tier. I like Davis Mills. I like Brandon Cooks in fantasy, but they don't have a lot going for them. They're in a rebuilding stage, and that's fine. That's fine for them. Next up, we got the Colts. I'm going to put them B tier as well. I'm going to put them B tier. And I think they're a solid team. They just missed the playoffs last year. I think Matt Ryan is going to be an improvement over Carson Wentz. Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman are a couple great weapons on offense. And if the defense plays well, I think they'll be a playoff team. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jags. Now, I'm going to put him D tier. If Trevor Lawrence, one of the most hyped up rookies of all time, if he shows up and plays well, they might jump to C. But I'm going to put him D for now. And this is a very interesting one. The Kansas City Chiefs, man. That is a very interesting one. They lost Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce is a year older. But they did bring in a few weapons. Juju, MVS. They drafted Sky Moore. They still have McCole Hardman and obviously Travis Kelce. The running back room is kind of a mishmash of players, but I'm going to put them A tier. Obviously, losing Tyreek Hill is a big loss, but they brought in some weapons to hopefully piece together some of that production. And when you have Mahomes and Andy Reid, I'm not going to quite put him B tier, but I'm not going to put him S tier. I think A tier is perfect. I think with the Bengals and the Broncos, that is perfect. And fellow division mate, the Chargers, I'm going to put them A tier as well. The last few years, it feels like the Chargers are always this team where they have a lot of hype in the preseason, and then the season comes, and they're kind of a letdown. I think this is the year where they actually, succeed. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they'll be a playoff, they'll make the playoffs and be a contender, right? And in the playoffs, anything can happen. I just don't think they're quite on the level of the Vikings. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to put them A tier. And if everything goes right for them, they could be in the Super Bowl. Now we got the Raiders. The Raiders, to me, are the perfect B tier team. This division with the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, and Raiders, it's so competitive. They're some of the best teams in the league. I think the Raiders are just a step behind some of these teams. You got Russell Wilson, Mahomes, Herbert, and then Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is a good NFL quarterback, but I just don't think he's quite on their level, and that's a big deal. I'm going to put them B tier, and that is my final decision. Miami Dolphins, I think they're a C tier team. Obviously, we just talked about the Chiefs losing Tyreek Hill. He went to the Dolphins. They got Waddle. A lot of this is gonna come down to Tua. If Tua can take a step forward and get the ball to these weapons, to Chase Edmonds, all that jazz, I think they could be a solid team. And if things go right, I could see them making a little playoff push. The New England Patriots, after last season, I probably would put them here. But to me, I just feel like, they're like between B and C tier. So I'm going to put them C tier just because we have a lot of B tier teams. And I feel like they're just a half step behind some of these teams. And Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, or arguably. So he might get them right and looking good. And they might be a playoff team. But lately, from what I've heard out of their camp, their offense is looking a little rough. If Mac Jones can build off of last year and their defense plays well, they'll probably jump up a tier. But for now, I'm just going to put them in C tier. Same with the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to put the Saints C tier. I think Jameis, if he has a decent season, and if Michael Thomas can stay on the field, and if, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, if they can, put together some production on offense, if Alvin Kamara can have a decent season out of the backfield, and if their defense plays well, which I think are all things that could happen, they're going to be hanging in there. These are all kind of teams that if they were 500, if their record was 500 or maybe a game or two above that, I wouldn't be shocked. Or if they were a game or two behind 500, I wouldn't be shocked either. The New York Giants, I feel like you just got to put them D tier. I love Danny Dimes. Hopefully he can, have his best season yet. But up to this point, with what we've seen out of the Giants the last few seasons, I just can't put them any higher than D tier. I just can't. The New York Jets. Now, this is an interesting situation. They have pieces in place where a few years from now, they might jump up a tier or two, right? But a lot of this comes down to quarterback. Is Zach Wilson the answer? There's some question marks there after last year. Last I heard, Joe Flacco was going to be the starter to begin the season because of Zach Wilson's injury. But I feel like I just have to put him D tier. The Eagles. The Eagles are a very interesting team. To me, they're kind of like the Patriots here, where it's I don't know if I should put them B tier or C tier. A lot of it's going to come down to, can Jalen Hurts get the ball to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert? What's their running back room going to look like? Can Miles Sanders be involved? Is Kenneth Gainwell going to be involved? It's tough. It's tough. I think this team... That's very tough. That's very tough. I'm going to put them B tier for now. B tier for now. And same with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are always just a solid team. Well, sometimes they're great. I think this year they're going to be more solid than great. Last year, Big Ben, even though he's a Hall of Famer, or he's going to be a Hall of Famer, that version of Big Ben did not really help them out that much. Between Mitch Trubisky and rookie Kenny Pickett, if they can push the ball downfield a little bit and get this offense going, and if the defense plays well, I could see them being a playoff team. And you know what? But both of these teams, I don't know if I should put them B or C. Because I feel like they're kind of a step behind. I'm gonna put them here. I'm gonna put them here. That seems better. Doesn't that seem better? That just seems better. All right, Seattle Seahawks. Listen, man, they lost Russell Wilson. And other than DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Rashad Penny, if he can stay healthy, they got some holes. So I want to put them D tier. Would it shock me if they finish, a little under 500 or close to 500? No, but I'm going to put them D tier. The 49ers. Now, this is another interesting one. They've been very solid the last few seasons. Jimmy Garoppolo, I guess he's still on the team, but Trey Lance is taking over at quarterback. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for the team? If Trey Lance plays better than Jimmy Garoppolo, I would put him here. But we don't know that. We just don't know. And I feel like if you put them there, I mean, I was going to say you got to put the Packers there, but 49ers have the Packers number in the playoffs. I feel like they're B tier. I feel like they're more B tier. I just don't think they're quite on this level. But they always find a way to get it done. So I'm gonna put them B tier for now. They're really close to A though. Tampa Bay Bucks, I'm gonna put them A tier. Listen, there's some question marks with the Bucks right now. Nothing crazy, but Tom Brady. There's been these reports of off the field issues going on in his life, but that could just be the media just making headlines. If Chris Godwin comes back and is right, that'll be huge. And I think this offense, if things just click like they have the last couple seasons, they'll be fine. They'll be good to go. And they'll definitely be a Super Bowl contender if that is the case. I just think right now these teams are just a little ahead, especially the Vikings. Tennessee Titans, man, they're just always a solid team, aren't they? The last few seasons with Mike Vrabel as the coach. They lost A.J. Brown. They bring in Robert Woods. I feel like if you look at B and C tier, I think these three teams are some of the hardest to rank right here. Because I think the Titans and the Steelers and the Eagles, they're not quite on this level, but they're ahead of some of these teams. I'm putting Washington D tier. That's what I do know. And then that's tough. That's very tough. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got 15 teams in S through B, which means we have 17 teams C through D. I mean, were the Titans the number 1 seed last year? They're always good. I'm going to put them B tier. I know losing A.J. Brown is big. A lot of it's going to come down to the health of Derrick Henry. If he can stay healthy, he's kind of the heart of their offense. I'm going to put them B tier. I feel like they've deserved that respect. Just the coaching has made it so that, they need to be respected each and every season. So this is our final tier list. Okay. Yeah. The Vikings are clearly in S tier, right? So we got the Vikings, Bills, Rams in S tier. We got Bengals, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, and Bucks in A tier. B tier, we got Cardinals, Ravens, Cowboys, Packers, Colts, Raiders, 49ers, Titans. And this division with the AFC West, that's gonna be an exciting division to watch. And then C tier, these are teams where I think if things go right, they can make the playoffs, but they need some things to go right. I think the Steelers belong in that category. I really do. I really do. I think this is a good list. Let me know what you guys think about this list. Where did I go wrong? I think this is pretty much a perfect tier list, and I don't think it can get much better than this. So with that being said, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later. Peace out.